It's day 2 of the Prep Your Fuels challenge. If you're looking at the packet, or if you've already looked and planned to prep today, I don't want you to freak out. You don't have to do all of this today. And this is, as I've explained, not even how I typically prep on THM. This is a challenge. So I'm doing extra prep, and if you're following along, you may be doing extra prep too. We're getting a little bit extra done so we can coast later in the week. And we're even doing more than that so we can coast later in the month. My typical meal prep methods are doubling what I make and freezing one, and making one unrelated item while I'm making dinner, already in the kitchen, already making a mess. For example, the other night I was making a baked spaghetti squash. It's Greek spaghetti squash, one of my favorites, and I keep intending to post that recipe at thewellplannedkitchen.com, but forgetting, so I'm sorry, I will get that up. It's delicious. And while that was baking, while I had the spaghetti squash roasting in the oven, I made a THM dessert. That's how I like to meal prep, so that I'm getting it all done at once. I get out of the kitchen and I can relax, especially if you have something that needs a little bit of attention, like you can't really leave the kitchen because you need to stir something or check something. That's a good time to make something else in addition to it. So we have a lot of prep today. You don't have to do all of it, and you can pick and choose what works best for you. We're gonna start with the Wake Up Trim Down Banana Bars on page 345 of the Trim Healthy Table book. So this is actually, there is a decent amount of measuring, but does not take that long to put together. So I've preheated my oven to 350. I've sprayed my loaf pans. I have 3 regular bread loaf pans that I just realized are out of the camera's view, so you can't see them, but they are there. I lightly sprayed them. What I like to do for e-recipes is lightly spray whatever pan or baking dish or loaf pan that I'm using, and then wipe it with a paper towel so it's kind of smeared and it absorbs some of the extra oil. Since it's an E, we do have that fat limit to pay attention to. So the first direction is to blend the banana and the egg whites. Is that right? Yes. Now, I'm not reading the recipe to you because of copyright laws, and of course this belongs to THM, but I can show you the ingredients I'm using to make this. So I am going to go ahead and mix this up and knock everything over all at the same time, because that's what kind of day it is. I'm just gonna put the lid on. I am going to dull the sound for you when I'm editing this so that it's not super loud. We'll call it good. I think I've invested enough time into the blending process there. So I've got those in, and then it says to add all the other ingredients. So I'm going to add my old-fashioned rolled oats, and I want to show you the kind that I use. I get this at Costco from time to time, but they don't always have it. So I ended up ordering this bag on Amazon, and I have this linked at thewellplannedkitchen.com/Amazon if you want to check it out. But it's just the gluten-free sprouted rolled oats. I feel like I digest these so much better. They seem to be a lot healthier. I'm a big fan of this brand and this particular product. So if you can get them at Costco, I would get them there. If not, they are on Amazon. So I'm gonna add my old-fashioned oats. I'm gonna have to check the recipe while we're going, because although I've made this many times, I don't have the recipe memorized. So I've got the oats, the oolong tea bags. I have a secret. Every time a THM recipe tells me to grind the oolong tea in a coffee grinder, I don't do it because I'm rebellious. Just kidding. My coffee grinder is a pain to clean out, so I just don't do it. And all the recipes turn out fine. But yours may be way better if you follow directions and you grind your oolong tea ahead of time. So in this, I already pre-measured. I've got the collagen, the baking blend, psyllium powder, gentle sweet, stevia extract, all in this. And I think I've also got, yes, I added the cinnamon and baking powder and sunflower lecithin. I can never say that right, so I'm always extra careful. All blended, not blended, all measured into this container. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that in and make sure it all gets in. And I lost a little bit, but that's okay. It mostly got in there. Oh, I also put the salt in there. The ingredient list is kind of, there's some wet and dry ingredients mixed throughout, so that's why it's kind of out of order. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this again. And I want to make sure the oats are not super blended for this recipe, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. Okay, so I blended that pretty well, and now I'm going to add the extracts to it, but I'm going to add them while it's going so they get mixed in really well. So I'm just gonna put this on low and measure out its banana natural burst from THM, baking vanilla, and butter extract that I'm adding. Here we go. And one more for the butter extracts. This seems tedious. It's honestly not that bad. And it only took me like 4 minutes to measure all those things out. I just didn't want you guys to get bored watching at home. So it wasn't that bad for prep. So here's the butter extract. And that's it. It's all blended up. So I'm going to play a game of guess which cap fits which extract. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the loaf pans and pour this in and get it in the oven, and this will bake at 350. So I'm starting this now so that I can work on the other things that we need to make. So I'll show you. So this is step one, is getting baked goods in the oven first. That's usually my process for meal prep. So I get that baking, whatever takes the longest goes in first, then I move on to other things. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'll show you what this looks like if you wanna see it. It looks like a pretty wet mixture, but it turns out good. Actually, I can show you what it looks like when I pour it into the loaf pan. I'll just grab one. Okay, so I don't fill it that high because I'm making 3 of these, but I make sure that the 3 are evenly distributed, and then I put it in the oven. It's time to make our Wicked White Chili, page 37 of the THM cookbook. This is a family favorite. It's perfect for fall, and it's so easy. So I've already opened my cans, I measured out my seasoning, and I drained and rinsed my white beans. So now I'm going to put half of those beans in the blender, and I'm going to add my chicken bone broth. This is just the bone broth from Costco to the blender, and I'm gonna blend it up. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this. You see that? It went everywhere. I had it at too high of a speed. Sorry about that. Sorry to everyone watching, that was a mistake. Okay, so I'm gonna take one of my freezer bags, crockpot, or freezer to crockpot directions in the book. You'll see this bag just fills up so fast. So I'm gonna pour my corn in. And I'm gonna need a spatula to get that all out. Just realized you can't see what I'm doing because I have other things in the way, so I will move them. Okay, so I have my things all in the way here. All right, so then I add my veggies. 2 cans of Rotel. 1 can of tomatoes. These beans, there's a lot of beans. I have in the past actually added, they're going everywhere, guys, because that's the kind of day it is. I gently guide them with my spatula into the bag. Sometimes I've made 2 bags because it's just too much and it fills up so fast. So this could be where you leave it. I'm going to try to see what we can fit in here. I'm going to probably add the seasoning to the other bag. So if there are food safety regulations about not freezing chicken in the sauce, which I've never heard of before, that is very possible. If that's the case, I don't know about them, and don't copy me, just do whatever you read on there. Okay, so I have my beans that are blended with my chicken broth. I'm gonna take, I have a big, like 4-pound thing of chicken over here. I'm just gonna take 2 giant ones. Oh, by the way, on the prep session, it says to double the recipe and freeze half. I am doubling the recipe of all the ingredients for the second set over there, but it was just too much to do on camera, so I'm just doing 1 on camera. So I've got 2 pieces, 2 hefty pieces. It calls for 2.5 pounds of chicken breast. This is good enough. This is so hearty, and these pieces are so huge. I feel this is at least 2 pounds, if not 2.5, because they're so giant. I'm gonna add the bean and broth to that, and then I'm just gonna dump my seasoning in there. Okay, so now I have these 2 bags. I am gonna squish the air out of that one better. And I will freeze them both for crock-pot wicked white chili. I would also ask you to just evaluate, what would having some things ready to go, what would that do for you? If you are on your way home and you are tired and you don't feel like cooking, if you knew you had a meal in your pantry that would take 5 minutes to put together, that's on plan, would you use that, or would you still hit the drive-thru? You'd be more likely to use the things that you have top of mind, that are easy, that are fast. I want you to think about, what are the times that you're most likely to go out plan, and what could you prepare or buy? It doesn't have to be prepared. It doesn't have to be a big prep session. What could you get ready that would just make it easier to signal to your brain, hey, I already have something. I don't need that. I have something at home. And even if that something is store-bought, that's totally okay. It can be a store-bought item. It does not have to be a prepped item that takes you a lot of time. When I struggled with staying on plan, I would find reasons to go off plan. I would invent reasons to go off plan, and I would also take advantage of any opportunity around me to go off plan. And what fixed that was eliminating those excuses and finding those things that, okay, Wednesday nights are hard for me. I'm going out a lot on Wednesdays. What can I do instead? Having those things ready to go. If you have food waiting for you at home, you are typically more likely to stay on plan. So just think through what you can prepare or buy that will signal to your brain, hey, I don't need to hit a drive-thru, I don't need to eat off plan, I already have these things that I invested in at home. So we're done with our white chicken chili. Now is the easy part. I am going to, not on camera, but I'm gonna make brown rice in the Instant Pot, and I'm going to bake some chicken breasts just to use for later this week. I will be sending out, if you're on my email list, I'm going to send out a second e-prep option that I'm not covering in video and that I didn't address in the emails before this, so you'll want to keep an eye out for that. And we're just going to go over some ways to make THM easier with these prep foods, or just by buying things at the store. If you've been considering joining boot camp to make THM and life so much easier, we are starting October 12th, and this is the time to sign up for it, because included in the next session, I have a $99 Stay on Plan for the Holidays course that I've created that is going to be yours absolutely for free if you sign up for boot camp. It will talk you through with worksheets, with success paths, with everything, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So if you sign up for the next boot camp, you get that totally for free. It's definitely going to be something that helps you stay on plan for the next 3 months, which is very, very valuable. Imagine getting to January 1st slimmer and healthier than you are right now, instead of starting January 1st trying to make up for several months of off-plan eating. That's the goal with the Stay on Plan for the Holidays course. And in boot camp, you learn the systems and strategies you can implement to make THM so much easier to get on plan and stay on plan for good. So if you're interested, the holiday time, the fall session of boot camp in particular, tends to sell out the fastest. So probably because of that, $99 bonus program. It's included for free. So if you're interested, go to thewellplannedkitchen.com/THM bootcamp, and you will learn all about what's available, what's included, and what you will learn from boot camp, which is probably the most important part. You will learn how to get on plan and stay on plan no matter what's going on in life. You will learn how to make 5-minute meals. You will learn how to have systems in place that make THM easier. You'll learn how to stay on plan at home and out of the house. No matter what, you will have the ability to do that, and you'll know how to break through stubborn weight loss stalls. You'll know how to avoid cheats. You'll know how to recover after a cheat. You will walk away from boot camp with so many new tools under your belt and so much knowledge to help you make this plan a success for a lifetime. So I'd love to have you join us. Again, it sells out really quickly, but hopefully I will see you there, and I will at least see you here tomorrow for our FP meal prep.